welcome to Light Waves by todderbert. If you enjoy reviews of flashlights, rechargeable lanterns, and other portable light sources, then make sure to subscribe and tap the bell icon so you don't miss any of my most excellent videos. In front of us we have the RovyVon E1 Angel Eyes. This is a lightweight hybrid keychain flashlight. You can find these selling on Amazon for $32.95. There's 3 body colors, blue, black, green. I got the green, of course. Came in this cool little case. There's also available in cool white or warm white. So, nice setup. So I took everything out of the little box, and I'll show you what you get. All right, set this aside. Get the star of the show, the E1 Angel Eyes. Love the name. It's pretty cool. Another keychain style flashlight, really small, micro-sized. Very cool. You get some kind of little brochure here. Okay, looks like your warranty information, I'm guessing. Okay, pretty basic stuff. You get some accessories. You get the belt clip or hat clip, depending on how you have it hooked up. You get 2 key rings, a small and a large one. And they give you an extra rubber jacket for the charging port. Nice. So those are good things to have, definitely. And then I believe they give us a sheet of instructions. Right here. Yay. Which we'll go over here. So let's go ahead and just move this out of the way. Quickly look at the instructions. I'm just going to bring this up a little bit. All right. So the instructions. Let's see if I can just get this on camera here. They just give you like a page of paper. It's pretty basic instructions. Don't give you a ton of information, but there are some features there in case I missed something. Some sizes, LEDs. Okay, there's different types, of course, like I mentioned, cool white or warm white. The warm white's really nice. This is a cool hybrid. It operates either on a LiPo battery, internal, or an external AAA battery, which is very unique. Awesome. Loving that. There's an illustration, 2 buttons on it, which we'll go over, and how to switch in between the battery modes, so you can choose which battery you want to use, the internal or the external. There's a user interface, button 1 and button 2, and what they do. Okay, and I think the back side of this piece of paper, this gives us like an installation instructions, I believe. Okay, how to replace the AAA battery. You want to press down on both ends before you lift the latch. That makes sense because you put too much pressure on the nylon portion of the case and you can break that little tab off. So that's a smart way of doing it. Same thing if you guys ever owned an antique pocket watch. You always press the lever in before you snap the case. You never want to snap it. You just want to close it by pushing down the release so that it doesn't wreck your case. Little information to know on antique pocket watches. So here you go. And we're done with this part of the instructions. Now what they don't give you is what the outputs are and time frame. I had to print this out off their website. So the cool white spec, which is not this one's the warm white, but you can see it has moonlight, low, medium, high. And if you look, it shows the output for that, for the LiPo and for the AAA. The run times are for the LiPo. They did not state the run times for the AAA battery, though they do mention using a nickel metal hydride battery in the light itself. So there you go. That's for the cool white. They state IPX7 on their website, and it says IPX6 on the instruction manual. So I'm going to go with IPX6, just to be on the safe side for waterproofing. So don't dunk it, but it can handle rain, no problem. So there you go. And here's for the warm. If you notice, it's a little lower. It's 200 lumens lower on the high, but to be honest with you, not a huge difference. You're not going to normally see that. If you want to compare it, so I can bring up both in. Yeah, medium goes from 100 to 70. Low stays the same. Moonlight stays the same. Okay, there you go. Cool. All right, let's get to the little flashlight. Rock on. Yeah, the E1. So we'll go over dimensions, do a size comparison. I guess I'll bring this back on down. Up close and personal. See how close I can get to it. Okay, dimensions. Our width is 1 1/16 of an inch, or 27 millimeters. Our length is 2 5/8 of an inch, or 66 millimeters. Now we have a case thickness of 9/16 of an inch, or 13 millimeters. That includes those raised buttons there. Very cool. Size comparison. I always like to do this. Always need to show you what they look like with things next to it. Like here's your standard AAA battery, which I do have installed in here. We have the Phoenix E30R, a very cool dual LED. Again, I brought this out because these were Angel Eyes before that came out. Said the dual LEDs. Kind of a neat little keychain flashlight. A little smaller, but it's actually heavy. It's all metal. And then we have a AA battery. Yeah, AA. And then I have another keychain flashlight. I wouldn't really call them competitors. I guess they could be. Just this is a very unique light. I'm just doing this for more size comparison. I might use this as a color reference. This is a cool white. You can see the difference between warm white and cool white. We'll probably do that in this video. This is a Tip SE. Also has dual LEDs. So I think it's 700 lumen output. Pretty awesome. But there you go for a size comparison. Great. Cool. So let's go put those out of the way, and let's do features of the E1 Angel Eyes. I'm a fan. I really like this setup. I think it's fun, very unique. So let's go to the front end. We have TIR optics. Very cool. Like seeing that. Of course, you got the two LEDs. They're SST20s, warm white, 4000 K color temperature, and a CRI or color rendering index of 95, which means colors will look great with this light. When you're shining there, especially if you're trying to color code something at night, you'll be able to see reds, greens, blues with no problem because none of the colors are getting washed out. So that's neat. We have an aluminum housing here on top that holds the LEDs and keeps them cool when they're running. And this bottom enclosure is that, what's this, the polyamide, I think? Yeah, polyamide, if I'm saying that right. It's like a nylon type enclosure. Pretty durable material and very lightweight. Yeah, liking that. So there's the metal side latch to open it up. And so it showed in the instructions pushing the top and the bottom. So you release any tension from this lever. So we'll go ahead and release the tension and pull that open. That's so you don't break off that little nylon tab by just yanking up the metal latch, because that will happen. And you don't want to snap this either shut. You want to push again both ends as tight as you can and then push that in. So just something to keep in mind when you're opening and closing. Now it swivels, which is cool, and it reveals our AAA compartment, which is pretty awesome. So there you go. Now this light will work, of course, because there's a LiPo pack in it. As you can see, it lights up LiPo. So it will work. You can click it on, moonlight mode, even when it's open with the AAA compartment. So yeah, this is showing you there is an internal battery. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just turn that off. We'll go over those switches in a little bit. But yeah, so it's a little spring loaded, so you got to kind of push down as you're turning this closed. Kind of hard to show you on camera, but the positive terminal's in the way there. So let's see if I got a little something I can show you on my camera. So we'll push down as I close. There you go. See how that closes? Pretty nifty. It's got like an O-ring gasket there, of course, for help with the waterproofing. Now, before I snap that shut, we are going to press, and we're going to tight as we can. There we go. So it goes on easy. That's what we're looking to do. All right. So on the side here, we got a USB Type-C charging port. Of course, they gave us an extra jacket, which is nice, thankfully, because that little thing I could see disappearing fairly quickly. It's rated, I think, at 1/3 of an amp charge rate. The battery inside is a 300 milliamp hour battery, so I'm guessing approximately an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours max to charge the internal battery. So when you're charging it, I believe the LiPo does a breathing mode, a blue breathing mode, and I think when it's done, the AAA light stays on green. So just so you know, while you're charging it, you have two modes available: moonlight and low. So that's not bad for a little flashlight, little LiPo. Now it only charges the LiPo section, does not charge the AAA section. Makes sense because you could have a lithium, the lithium style energizers, or you could have a regular energizer alkaline. So it can use those too. So I'd recommend using nickel metal hydride. Runs well on this and just charges in a dedicated charger. Cool. So, all right, we're going to go over these buttons here in a second, but here are two LEDs. Again, I showed you the LiPo and then the AAA. So these will light up when you change the modes. I'll show you how to do that. Of course, blue and then green, we're on that mode. Of course, we've got a cool lanyard point and hook point for the key rings. So we have a small and large key ring that came with it, if you remember. Not bad. Got the extra hardware. And on the side of the case, you can see we got 3 positions for that clip. Very cool. There's the back. It looks like we got some screws. I guess if you wanted to get adventurous, you could probably take it apart. Don't know if you should or not. Let's go over these buttons real quick, and then we'll go to some pictures I took in the garage. So the 2 buttons are pretty neat. So the first top button here is the one you're going to use the most. If you click it once, it goes to the moon mode. So right now it's defaulting to the AAA battery. It's cool. So if we don't want to use the AAA, you can also use the second button. Here, let me turn that off. The second button you can tap once. Nothing happens except tells you what battery type you're using. To change it to LiPo, which is what we want, it's pretty much the highest power. We are going to do that. So to do that, you go to Moonlight and you triple click 1, 2, 3, and now we're on LiPo mode. So of course our high is going to be much brighter when we go to high. So of course you can press and hold, turn it off, click it on, moon mode, and then we double press to get to the modes we can change. There we go. Off, and then from off you can double press too to access the light. You can see we're cycling from low, medium, and high. And then off, and then of course that little click is moonlight and off. Very nice. And as you can see, every time I turn it on, that LiPo's telling us what's going on. So that's pretty much a simple button right there. There's a lockout too. I believe it's 3 from off, so 1, 2, 3. And it flashes, telling us it's locked out. I think if you press it again, it flashes, nothing happens. There you go. Let's go unlock it. Okay, I think we unlocked it. Yep. All right, great. Now the second switch is cool. This is for momentary high. So you just press and hold, let go, just press and hold. So that's nice. So you have that. I believe if you double press, you have strobe. So if you don't like strobe, turn away. There's our strobe. Now there's no information on the strobe, so I'm not sure. I'm thinking it's highest intensity. I'm not sure how long it lasts, but probably only use that in emergency. So keep that in mind when you're using that strobe feature. Very cool. I'm trying to think if there's anything else here on the second button. Triple quick press to lock off flashlight. Yeah. So yeah, you learned how we did all that. Pretty simple. See, I think we did everything except, yeah, I showed you the how to change from the one to the other. So again, we can show that. So we are on LiPo mode, and 1, 2, 3, we're now on AAA mode. And of course, when we go through these, it's not going to be as bright. Okay, let's double press, single press, change the modes. So this isn't as bright as the LiPo, as you can tell. So what did I say that was like? I forget. It's 70 lumens, I think, on high. Yeah, versus 500. So then we'll go back to moon. So press hold off. Single press on for moon mode. Okay, it's automatically putting us on AAA. Nice. Or, I mean, I already did that. So let's go back to LiPo. 1, 2, 3. Now we're back to LiPo. And of course, double tap goes to our modes. Remembers last mode, of course, too, as well. And we'll go back to turbo, or not turbo, high. It doesn't have turbo. So we'll tap to high. There we go. Much brighter. Very cool. So yeah, that's the primer. Press hold off, momentary, and double tap for strobe. That's a beautiful thing. Single click, like I mentioned, shows you what battery type you're on without doing anything. That's kind of nice to have. When this drops down to less than 3 volts on LiPo, it automatically uses the AAA. If the AAA drops to 0.8 or 0.8 of a volt, it goes to LiPo. So just so you know. Let's go ahead and go to the garage where I took pictures of this light in action. We'll do a quick desktop demo and we'll be done and give you final thoughts. So let's enter the garage. Here I am 15 feet away from the garage door. The flashlight is on high using the LiPo mode. This is 500 lumens. Expect it to run 3 minutes before it throttles down to 150 lumens. It'll run the remainder of that little battery out in 1 hour. And expect a throw of 25 meters. A very broad beam keychain flashlight, which you'd expect. Now we're on medium. This is 70 lumens. Expect a runtime of near 2 hours, 1 3/4 hours to be exact, and a throw of 5 meters. Medium mode would be a useful mode for most tasks. And now we're on low. 10 lumens. This will run for 12 hours before the battery goes dead in the LiPo section. And again, probably the most used mode you'll have this set at. And my final picture here is a picture of changing a wheel, say. This is 6 feet away on the low mode, 10 lumens, giving us plenty of time, 12-hour working time with the LiPo mode. You're not even switching it over to the AAA mode, so you have dual power, which is fantastic. So if, say, it ran out on the LiPo section because you forgot to charge it, but you do have a AAA installed, you switch it over, and its low mode is 5 lumens. And it didn't give a runtime, but I'd imagine it's easily 30 hours. Let's go back to the table. All right, so yeah, little guy weighs about 39 grams without the AAA battery installed, to give you an idea. And I'm going to bring in like a deck of cards here. Iron Man. He's the man with the master plan. He loves angel eyes in each hand. He's the man with the lightning plan. He loves RovyVon every day, man. You get the idea. It's cool. So yeah, I like to use this. We'll bring in the Nitecore Tip SE. They still sell this one. It's lighter weight. It's okay. Sealed battery. It's really not user replaceable, but I think you could open it up and probably try to change it out yourself if you can find the right battery. So, but this one here definitely does not have the dual hybrid technology. It's a little brighter, but it doesn't have that AAA runtime, which I think is pretty cool, having that as an option. But we'll use this for color temperature's sake, just to give you an idea of the difference in color. So we'll go ahead, and this one runs about $30 as well, so pretty close to the same price point. Like I said, its turbo is 700 lumens for 15 minutes. Its high is 180 lumens for an hour and a half. It's got a medium mode of 30 lumens for 8 hours and a low of 1 lumen for 50 hours. And it's got an internal battery of 500 milliamp hour. So just to let you know, versus 300. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go double tap. Let's see. Okay, we're going to go, I think, yeah, that's good. We'll go the low mode, 10 lumens. And I think that, let's see, it's 30 on this one, 70. I guess it's okay. We'll just, I forget how this one goes. I think I was in the wrong one. Okay, so that's our mode. Okay, it's been a while. We'll just use these modes so you get a general idea for color. All right, turn this off. Okay, great. And then I'll just bring these in together. You can kind of see the differences. So right away, RovyVon has a nice neutral white at a high rendition of color. You see the cards aren't getting washed out. Here's the Nitecore washing out the cards. It's a little brighter because the settings aren't exactly the same as the RovyVon's. Very cool though. Liking it. Okay. Bump my Nitecore. There you go. So you get the idea. Color temps. Awesome. Okay, we'll go ahead and turn that off. Let's go ahead and cycle the modes on the RovyVon. So let's see, we go up. So we got low, medium, high, 500 lumens. Nice. Let's turn it off. Press and hold. We'll go to moon, which is our 1 lumen. Just single click. Of course, single click off, single click back. You can see the blue light goes on, so you know we're in LiPo mode. And then, of course, we can double tap, go to our normal modes, single press, change the modes. Okay, great. And then what I like to do is bring in a radio. Since we're tuners, we like our radios in the dark. No RFI in any modes, which is nice. Turn up the volume.
The Lakers had the ball. Ryu Hachimura was destroyed at the rim by Jaren Jackson Jr. Terrific block. Great block to get in transition. Ja Morant ahead of the court, get ahead of everybody. Lakers tried to catch a sweep behind the back pass to Desmond Bane for the layup. Lakers take a timeout. Memphis leads game 4, trailing in the series 2-1, but they lead game 4, 104-102, courtesy of that layup, and 6.7 seconds to play in the fourth quarter.
Clean block, by the way, too, by Memphis.
All butter.
And before that, LeBron has the ball, driving the lane, and he gives it up, which I was waiting on it
I noticed a little bit of RFI from the AAA battery. One thing I didn't test, and I thought about doing that. So let's go back to the LiPo mode, because we didn't have as much. That's interesting. So 1, 2, 3, LiPo mode, and then we'll turn that back up.
6.7 seconds to play in game 4 of that series. Ian Fitzsimmons, Freddie Coleman together.
Cool.
Thanks for joining us.
All right.
Ian Fitzsimmons.
Okay, so yeah, I always like to do that. So let's go ahead, set this down, bring my cards back in. Yeah. Turn the lights back on. Yeah, that was a test I didn't do. I didn't check to see how the AAA worked. There's some RFI there up close. Something to keep in mind if you're using this with a AAA battery and they're not using LiPo mode. You may have RFI on your radio, so something to keep in mind. I'm glad I tested that because I only tested the LiPo section, didn't even think to test the AAA. I thought it'd be the same circuit, but it's driving it a little differently with the AAA, probably to save power, I'm guessing, or just a different way of driving that battery. So nice. So yeah, let's go ahead and press off. Yeah, pretty neat setup. I really like it. The Angel Eyes E1. This was on sale. I think I might have picked it up even cheaper than the $32.95 when Christmas comes around or Prime Days. Definitely check it out. RovyVon puts good sales on, so definitely verdict here. Overall, it's a buy for a keychain flashlight in this price range of $30. I think that's perfect. This is like the break limit probably for most people. $30 for a keychain flashlight. It's not quite a throwaway light. If the internal LiPo battery finally dies on you, you still can use the AAA side, which is fantastic. So you always have your dual light source light, and this will outlast probably these others that will fade away because you can't change the battery in this. Even though I really like this light, this is a pretty cool light. This one actually has red. Keep holding. There's our red light. I really like having that dual source, the dual lights. Press and hold. Okay, that's just handy. Trying to remember how to press and hold. Okay, there we go. This one's a little different. Gives you an idea with the Phoenix. A great little light itself, but you can't change the battery. So there it is. The Angel Eyes E1 gets a recommended buy. Of course, there's different versions. There is there's the E3, the E5, the E8. Some have a clear case to it. Some have see-through where it has the extra LEDs in there, either on the top or the bottom. I'm trying to remember exactly where they were. I think right in here. Some have a single button. Some are all aluminum case, so you have the aluminum front and the aluminum body, if that's your thing. I do like this polyamide because it is lightweight. Kind of has a durability factor there. So, all right. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Big like if you did. 2, if you like RovyVon products and you want to see more featured on the channel, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, get notified of future reviews, comparisons, and deals. And 3, comment below what you think about the E1 Angel Eyes. Is it for you? Just let me know. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in my next video.